You are known as what is called as a hype man for the Drop Bears here in Sydney. Funky.
Yes, mate. I got dubbed that by a guy by the name of Sam Neill. He asked me, he said, so you're the mascot? I said, I don't really like mascot. And he's called me the hype man, so which was pretty cool. I think that sounds pretty cool.
Funky Phil.
Yeah, Funky Phil.
So you've just come back from the States?
I came back from the States, yeah. I travelled to, on the 13th of August, I travelled over to Corvallis up in Oregon. And that was for Travis Bazzana's draft party, as you mentioned. So that was a surreal thing, him going number one, first ever non-American to go number one, first ever second baseman to go number one. So that was massive news for Australian baseball, and so that was awesome. And then on top of that, then I went down to the Savannah Bananas for my second tour. And
Bananas?
Yeah, Savannah Bananas. So they're a team that just has a lot of fun. They play competitive baseball, but they do have a lot of fun doing it. And so they're taking the world by storm. They're the biggest social media club in the world.
Right.
They're massive. They've got something like 2.6 million people on the waiting list to get tickets.
Wow.
But they're bigger than like Yankees, bigger than Manchester United. Social media wise,
wow.
They're huge. They're getting really big.
Wow. How do they do that?
Their biggest saying is fans first, and so they just do everything for the fans. You know, they're very engaging. Nothing's too hard for them when it comes to the fans, and they got us over as the Drop Bears, and they liked us, so they got us back again because we were engaging and they loved having us over there. So it was cool.
Awesome. So what exactly is the Drop Bears?
Okay, so the Drop Bears is a team that was put together by Osborne, which is a company, Osborne, and they put a team together to go play the Savannah Bananas. But they've got tournaments like the Down Under Winter Classic, the Summer Sizzler, which we've got again this summer, and we've got a couple of banana players coming out for it. And then we've got a couple of travel ball teams that go over and represent us, the Drop Bears, against in the 10s, 12s, 14s, 16s and 18s. But I suppose the spearhead, the biggest thing is the team that goes over and plays the Savannah Bananas. Yeah, we come together and we go over and play them.
Wow, that sounds good. What about in Australia, Funky? Do you know, like, who brought baseball to Australia? Like, what's the history, just generally, high level?
So I was involved in a club back in the day called the Lane Cove. Okay, so they were Lane Cove, and they came about with the American guys who are out here, and we put a team together, and they're called the Choc Browns. They were called the Chocos because they used old army uniforms as their uniform, and they dyed them. The only colour they could dye them was brown. So that's how they became the Chocos. So they were I think like 1795. Does that sound right? 1895, 1995. Yeah, so like 1795 was the first team.
Whoa.
Back then. Now, I believe there's an Adelaide team that tried to say that they were
1895?
No, 1795. So they were old. They're old.
Whoa.
Back then, yeah. So
we just got here in 1788.
Yeah. So it was a yeah. So we had. I'm pretty sure that's right. So like 200 years, or was it 100 years? It might be 1895, but actually, I think the first. You were right. 1895. The Lane Cove, but I think there's a team in Adelaide said that they were around before us, but I always thought that we were the first. Back in 1895.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. Is it still called the old ball game here in Australia?
The old ball game? I haven't heard that.
You haven't heard that?
I haven't heard that. Not from Australians. I've heard of the term.
Okay, not from Australians.
But not from Australians.
Maybe Americans? No.
From Americans, yeah, for sure. They've heard them. Not to me personally, but watching documentaries on it, and yeah, that's been a coined phrase, yeah, for sure.
So when I did a little research in Melbourne, there was a game in 1855. That's what it said. So that's a long time. So there's been a devoted following here in Australia, but not exactly broad. Would that be fair to say?
I think with anything, the people that become passionate about anything, they'll stick to it. But like I said, I think it came from the US sailors coming over and they introduced the game. But baseball did originate from cricket.
Did it?
I believe, and that's if you see that from home plate to the pitcher's mound. Sometimes there'll be a strip cut out, and that it was from rounders. Came from rounders, yeah, back in the day, yeah.
Oh, it did come from cricket. Wow.
So, yeah.
So what are we talking, Funky, in terms of numbers in Australia, like compared to other sports?
We're down to compare to other sports, but we don't have too bad in juniors. It's a very good junior game.
Right.
Kids get the field, they get the bat all on the same day. Parents are up close to the nets, they can see their kids out there doing things.
Yeah, right.
And a lot of parents, they don't want that real contact sport, and when their kids can get a bit of bat and ball. So I really think it's a great game for kids to play, and so we do get a lot of T-ballers and baseballers play.
So cricket's summer, but baseball's
summer as well.
Oh, it is.
Baseball's summer, but we have a winter competition, but that's not so much for juniors per se, like the biggest competitions in the summer. So it's competing against cricket. It definitely competes against cricket.
It does compete against cricket.
It does, yeah.
Gotcha. How does it work? How do you score?
How do you score in baseball?
Yeah.
Okay, so very simply, there's 4 bases. You start at home plate, where you hit the ball, and if you make it all the way around from first, second, third, and then down to fourth, that's a run.
Yeah, that's a run.
That's a run. So you hit the ball over the fence, that's automatic run. If there's runners on first and second, when you hit the ball over the fence, there's 3 runs.
And in an innings, I know it's a bit basic, but how many pitches for an innings?
Per innings, so depends on how long you get them out. So
okay. So that's like cricket.
So
in a way, is that right?
No, not like cricket. Cricket is 6 per over, and then one day there's 50 overs and 20 is 20 overs, and then in cricket there in the Test match, you bowl until you get them all out, and then in innings in baseball, which there's 9, an average innings will probably be around about 15 or so pitches.
Would it?
Okay, I think that'd be about an average.
Yeah.
Okay. The quickest would be 3. One pitch they hit it, they get out. One pitch they hit it, get out, and again 3 outs, and that'd be the end of the innings.
A little bit segue, but are balls still handmade?
I believe so. Yeah, I've seen a lot of videos on it, and they're still handmade.
It's a lot involved in it.
And like for example, in the major leagues, when you rub the baseballs up with a bit of mud to take the shine off it, and there's a guy, and they get.
Why is that?
Because it's slippery, and so they take that new ball, and so they rub them up. But it's a special mud from a special place in the States, and only one guy does it, and he rubs up the balls. Yeah, the special mud,
right?
The special mud, the rub the balls up to take that real silky smooth off the ball.
Bowlers in cricket will try and shine one side and rough the other. Does that happen in baseball? Like, at the top levels?
Look, it used to happen a lot, so the sticky fingers, so, you'll see guys, they'll put a bit of pine tar on the top of their hat there, so they'll get a bit of grip on the ball. So they'll do that, but it's all illegal now. So you can't have that anymore in the gloves. So you'll see that in the majors now. The umpires will come and check their gloves to see if there's any sticky stuff in it. And a lot of pitchers were complaining because they're losing control of the ball and hitting batters. But no, you can't have anything on the ball. And so I've known guys that would put a razor blade in their glove and cut the ball up so they get a bit more grip and get more dive on the ball. But you can't have it if it's roughed up at all. Then the umpires will see it and they'll toss it out of the game. So
cricket, they look for swing, but in baseball, they're looking for a dive, is it?
Oh, look, it's something. When I say a dive, a bit of movement, a bit extra movement, or a bit more grip on the ball, so you can get a bit more spin rate on the ball.
Gotcha.
So we'll spin a bit harder and break a bit more, or the wind will catch it and it'll cut a little bit more, or duck and dive.
So they're not just straight pitches; like they'll vary the different pitches. Yeah.
More so than cricket.
Right.
Definitely more so than cricket.
Right. So there's a lot of reading going on.
There's a lot of reading going on. Yeah.
Right.
A lot of reading going on.
Right. That's really what they'd be studying, that pitcher.
There's so many different types of pitches.
Right.
And with the throwing action, you can get that. You can get more than a cricket ball with just 2 seams. With all the other seams, you can get a lot more different variations.
Oh, okay. So Travis Bazzana recently made history. Was drafted first overall in the 2024 MLB Draft with the Cleveland Guardians. Talk to me about that, Funky. How big a deal is that? Like, how hard is that?
For that to happen for Australian baseball is massive. I can remember back in the day for basketball, Bogut getting signed, it made a big thing. And I remember the Sydney Kings were like the Sydney Blue Sox and the Melbourne Aces of Australian ABL. And now they're guys that are basically full-time playing basketball here. So I think it's going to be massive. But as I said to you off air, is that not only was he the first Australian to get signed number 1, he was the first person from anywhere else in the world, apart from the United States, to go number 1. So no one else from anywhere else in the world had been signed number 1 apart from from American.
Really?
So him doing
that is huge.
That is huge, and so his position is a second baseman. Though it's not your elite positions are shortstop, centre field, catcher. Okay, so as you move around, so no second baseman, and he's primarily a second baseman who can also play the outfield. but he's probably a second baseman. No second baseman has ever been selected first overall either. So he's definitely very, very sought after.
In the history books already.
Yeah, in the history books already for sure.
We've had other players in the major league there.
Oh, we've had 36,
Right.
36 players make the major leagues.
Right. That's quite a lot.
It's quite a lot. Most of them were pitchers.
Okay.
We're known for our arm and.
Are we?
Yeah, we're known producing some solid arms. Not so much the offensive side of things. We've had a few, but most of them have been pitchers.
Interesting. So and Travis is a batter.
Yeah, but Travis is a hitter. Yeah, so he's definitely making, like, our biggest name before Travis was probably Dave Nielsen, who's our national coach.
Right.
And he made the All-Star game, and he was a catcher for the Milwaukee Brewers. But before him, we'd had guys that were just, like Trent Olchen, who's had a couple of years in there, Justin Huber, that sort of thing, but not major guys. Yeah.
Have we had another hitter?
Like I said, Dave Nielsen was probably the last premium guy, but before that was Craig Shipley. He played 10 years in there. He was like the first real Aussie to make the major leagues. There was one guy.
What years are we talking?
Oh, he was back in the 1980s.
How would those guys have got attention in the States? Like, do the Americans have scouts or?
Yeah, well, look, we are getting scouts out here now, and we do have scouts that are based in Australia, and they're the lowest, but we'll have guys come to our tournaments. Craig Shipley, for example, he went to college in the States, and that's how he got through to the major leagues. But then most of the other guys have been signed out of high school or out of the ABL or whatever, and then they'll go and start through affiliate ball, so in the lower leagues of the major leagues, and then move their way up.
So you mentioned the ALB, so
ABL, yeah,
it's ABL. So that's our league, right?
That's our league, yeah.
So talk to me about that. Like, how does that work?
How does that work? Okay, so there's been a few attempts at the ABL. So it started back with the Sydney Wave, or back in like 1980 or so. So there was an Australian baseball league there, and it was sort of like sponsored with American teams, but it fell down, and it started back up again, and then it fell away, and it started back again. And this, I think, is our third attempt at the ABL, and it seems to be doing a lot better now. We've got some good owners from all the teams now. And so, we now are we're not so much affiliated with a major league team. In the past, it'd be like the Milwaukee Brewers might be associated with the Brisbane Bandits, and so they'll be a real connection. And there is a bit of a connection there now, but it's not, they're not really giving money. So, but they will send players to the Brisbane Bandits, the Milwaukee Brewers. We, in the past, the Sydney Blue Sox, who I'm affiliated with, have been associated with the Pittsburgh Pirates through their own coach, Tony Harris. He was a Pittsburgh Pirate guy. So he was bringing Pittsburgh Pirates guys into the organisation.
Okay.
This year, with a new coach, I don't know where he will get it, but we've got also teams from Japan. The Chiba Dragons in Japan are sending guys over as well. So we are supplemented with teams in their off-season sending players down, plus Aussie homegrown players.
How long has that been happening?
Ever since it started, we always get guys coming out, even in our local state league, which is like the level below the ABL.
Yeah.
Clubs will get independent ball players or guys that have just left college who want to come have a summer in Australia to come play for us.
Right.
And they'll come out, and they're quality players that sometimes will then progress into the ABL.
Okay.
So it's teams just wanting to win. There's no money involved, so to say, but we'll give them a place to stay. We might find them a job while they're here.
Yeah.
And then they'll play for our local teams.
Right. Fair call. What are the challenges that face baseball here?
Like most sports, we're a country of sportsmen.
Yes.
And so we can only spread so far. The money can only spread so far.
Yeah.
It's like anything. It's money. You've got to get that notification. And a lot of people see, baseball's American. Let's say cricket is Australian.
Yes.
So they see it as an American pastime. It's called the American pastime. And so they say, it's we don't want to support that. So you'll have people like that. Although we're breaking down that, because once people will come and play that at the junior levels, I see that it is a really good sport for kids, and they're enjoying it. And so then they will stay, and then we're creating our own. Like, we're sixth in the world. We're ranked sixth in the world, I think, at the moment, in worldwide as the best countries in the world. You've got Venezuela, Dominican, Canada, Mexico, USA, Japan, Korea, we're sixth, so we're doing pretty good.
It was in the Olympics?
It's been in the Olympics previously.
Yeah, probably in the States, in LA?
It will be in LA and
Yeah.
and it will be in Sydney as well.
Brisbane? Is it?
In Brisbane, sorry. Yeah.
How do you know that?
Because it's happening. It's happening.
It's happening, yeah. Is that because you've got big enough take up in the country to do that?
I think. Look, I'm purely guessing now, but I think, and we've got the facilities to do so.
Right.
You know, and I think Paris, you know, it might have been a bit hard for them to do that.
Right.
But yeah, we've got the facilities to do so, so it won't be as big a stretch.
Is it awareness that's a big thing? What?
Awareness, for sure. And the thing is now, like, I just done a couple of tribe baseball days where I went around as Funky Phil and I visited a few clubs just to try and get a bit of awareness and have a bit of fun.
In Australia? Or?
In Australia. Yeah, I've done that in Australia. And so you asking kids, you know, who the Blue Sox players are, which are the ABL players in our, you know, the professionals from Australia in our local area.
Yes.
And the kids would name one or two guys, you know, because we're still building that brand name.
Yeah, okay.
And then there's other guys. We've got Solomon Maguire and Blake Cavell and all these sort of boys that are doing really good at the moment, okay? And they don't really know who they're playing for. But you ask kids now, who does Travis sign for? Cleveland Guardians. Who's he playing for now? Lake County, you know, he signed for this. You know, they know everything about him because that awareness of him being put in on the mainstream media.
Yep.
They know about him, and then people are outside of the baseball community are knowing about Travis. You know, you ask anybody the name Australian baseball player, it'll be Travis Bazzana. If they knew anyone, it would be Travis Bazzana. Right?
Yes. Okay. Do we have who would be our equivalent of a Babe Ruth?
Who would be our equivalent of
Who would be our greatest ever, you think?
It would be Dave Nielsen.
Yeah. Okay. And so he played in the Major League for a long time.
He played in the Major Leagues for a long time. Yeah. He went to the All-Star game. He was a catcher.
Yeah.
You know, he would be our Babe Ruth. And if not him, it would be Craig Shipley. He basically got us there and he played a long time in the majors as well.
Michael Jordan had a go. It's not easy.
No, it's not easy. No.
So these guys are training really intensely from pretty young age, right?
I think anybody that's is elite at anything, would be training intensely, for sure. So like Travis, for sure he did. I know that he did. I saw it. I was witness.
You've known him for a while.
I coached him from
you coached him
for about 10 years old. You know.
Oh, did you? Wow! You are intricately linked.
Yeah,
wow.
But there's other guys too that they put in the effort. You know, and it's but they those elite people they go to the next level.
Yeah. How much is it? It's a combination of, you know, you can't just have talent alone. It's the dedication, the discipline, everything. What mix do you think it is?
Okay, so in baseball, they say there's 5 tools in baseball.
Yeah.
Okay, so when scouts are evaluating players, they'll give them a 5 tools. So their throwing, their arm strength.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Their glove work, so how well they feel the ball.
Is that reflexes, hand-eye coordination?
Yeah, so that's it. So they'll rate them in how strong their arm is, how good they feel the ball.
Yeah.
Okay, how well they hit the ball from like getting bat on ball.
Yeah.
How well they hit the ball with power, so how hard they can hit it, and how fast they can run. So they're the 5 tools of baseball, but there's a 6th tool, which is their game awareness and their love for the game and they're passionate for it and how much they want to learn. And that is what I think really makes that elite. And that's Travis has that, you know, like Jordan had that, Kobe had that, you know, where they're wanting to go that extra yard and leave no stone unturned. And I've heard Travis say it all the time. He will say, you know, never satisfied, you know, because he's always trying to get that 1% better or 0.5% better every day.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I think I could have been a professional baseball player.
Yeah.
But I didn't have it here. I didn't have that dedication. I didn't have that work ethic. I didn't have that desire to work hard. When I wanted to go party, I would go party.
Yeah.
You know? And I don't think that's the way it is. The guys are dedicated.
It's just the way it is.
You dedicate it.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah. So you played for a bit?
I played for a bit. I played a little bit in the ABL. Pitched in the ABL. You know, I played in Germany, coached in Germany, coached the state league here. And basically been playing since I've been 5.
Yeah. How do they work out who's a thrower and who's a hitter? It becomes quite obvious early or?
Early?
Or do they break away later, 20s,
Well, yeah, it's
late teens?
a lot. There's been a lot of players that will get converted into pitchers when they find that they can't hit well enough at the higher level. So,
Is that
but
right?
they've got a strong arm, and they'll
Okay.
try and convert them into a pitcher.
Ah.
Okay, but
When does that happen?
when does that happen?
20 or any age, or
Look,
when they're trying to get into the majors, I suppose.
So if you're getting converted, so I've seen guys being converted around about the 24 mark.
Oh,
But normally they call it a PO, so a pitcher only. Okay, a PO.
Okay.
So you're
Specialty pitcher.
Specialty pitcher. So you're normally converted as a PO probably around about the 17, 18-year-old mark, I'd say.
Okay.
If you're a two-way, like guys that are in college now, they'll be a two-way guy. So where they're a hitter
Doing
and a
both.
pitcher.
Yeah.
Okay, so Shohei Ohtani, the best baseball player in the world at the moment. He's a two-way guy. He's elite pitcher and he's an elite hitter.
Yeah.
And he's rare. He's an oddball. Okay, he's an oddball. That doesn't happen.
Right.
He's been like the first guy to do that in like forever, since Babe Ruth.
Right.
Again, even Babe Ruth was a pitcher first, and then he became a hitter.
Right.
But out of college, they'll say, "No, look, we can only see you being a PO now, a pitcher only." So they say, "Put down the bat, put that away."
Is that right?
And
Yeah.
work on your pitching, and that's probably around about a 20-year-old out of college, but out of high school, they'll convert him out of high school to POs or defensive way.
Wow. So how does baseball in Australia compare to America?
Now, look, we've got the same talent guys as what America has.
Yeah.
Okay, we do. But
Per ratio, you mean?
I think
or-
so.
Yeah.
I think so. But they've got more.
Yeah. Yeah.
They've got more. So when we have a team that we send over, we'll have guys rated from here to here, in the standard of their playing ability, where Americans will be from here to here because there's so much more. So they're going to get better quality overall because we don't have the numbers. But our best guys, are as good as their best guys.
Yeah, right.
But over there they're playing a lot more. And that's
Right.
where Ausball and these travel ball teams that have come into it, they're giving kids more opportunity to play more games. And that's where we're weak in the reps that we're getting in game situations. Here we're playing once a week for half a season. Over there they're playing 3 or 4 times a week as kids for 12 months.
As kids, okay. It's culturally a lot. Yeah, playing a lot more.
Playing a lot more.
As you said, yeah. Interesting. So what do you think the future of baseball is in Australia? Do you think we're at a bit of a junction?
I think I think that Trav going one, it's put a lot of spotlight on it. It'd be interesting to see how the ABL goes this year, whether Travis comes back and because this is going to be his winter, like he's now.
He might come back.
He might come back. There's talk that he might get a couple of games in.
Okay.
Whether that happens, it's up to the big club. It's up to the Cleveland Guardians
Yeah.
where they release him to come down and play.
Okay.
But even if he turned up to a game, people would come down just to see him for sure.
Yeah,
Just even if he wasn't playing.
So when you say off season up there, they just take a break fully?
Yeah, well, they take a break. So they're like March to October is a major league. So it's like 6 months of baseball every day. Every day for 6 months, basically. So 162 games they play in about 170 days.
Right.
And then you've got playoffs.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so they play a lot.
Oh wow, okay. And so off season
They come down here. So like
they will say goodbye to the club and take some time out. Yeah.
they come back home. So Australians will go back home. Japanese will go back
Oh,
home
right.
for over Christmas. Pitchers not so much sometimes, because they need sometimes they'll have a rest on the arm, but they're defensive players and the offensive players, they'll come and get some more at bats in against some decent quality pitching.
Right.
And we've had a lot of major leaguers playing the ABL. Reese Hoskins and Didi Gregorius and Ronald Acuna Jr. These guys are major league stars.
Right.
And they started and they came and had their winter in Australia.
Oh, okay. Wow. So you can get closer here to those guys than you probably would in the States.
That's right. Yeah. So these guys will come down here, and before they become big, they come down here to get their hacks in.
Before they get really big, yeah. But the really big guys, you don't see them. Really big ones.
They don't come out because they're not here to get their winter work in. They'll do some off
something else.
Yeah, they'll work on their swing or they'll just get some ground balls at home or just take a break and just do their own gym work.
Yeah.
but the other guys trying to prove something, they'll come down and they'll get a bit of extra game time.
And they want to get game time. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, I understand. So in Australia, if you want to watch a game, where is it? Is it on TV or do you go?
Well, look, there's talk about that. We're on YouTube. All the games are streamed on YouTube now.
Streamed?
Streamed.
Wow.
And we had a different.
So they just type it in, baseball, Sydney.
Baseball, you can get that there. And the ABL, like the Blue Sox, we got our first real games against Adelaide on the 15th of November down at Blacktown, down at Bisp. And it's a 4-game series, so we play Friday, doubleheader Saturday.
What's that called again?
Bisp, so Blacktown International Sports Park.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay, so we'll play 15th, 16th, 17th of November. That's our first real games at home.
I understand.
It's a 4-game series.
I saw some pretty big sort of stadiums. What have we got in terms of facilities?
Okay, yeah, so during the Olympics, we had one at Homebush.
Yes.
Which is now the showground. They do the cattle and all that there, so we don't have that anymore. But the Blacktown, the Bisp, Blue Sox Stadium,
right?
That holds about 3,000 people.
Yes.
So that's where we
get a bit of an atmosphere
have there. But then up in Brisbane, we've got different teams in Brisbane, and they're building another one for the Olympics. And Altona down in Adelaide, and places in Melbourne, Adelaide.
Okay.
ACT have got a team in as well.
Yep. ABL, that's a national comp.
It's a national comp.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Perth's got a side.
Perth's got a side. So we've got 6 teams in it.
Yeah.
So Melbourne, Adelaide, Perth.
And Blue Sox is...
Blue Sox, Perth and Canberra.
Awesome. Who are the Giants?
Adelaide.
They've got a good uniform.
They've got a good uniform, but they've been winning it, so they can afford it.
Oh, have they? Have they been winning it?
The last couple of years, they've taken out the tournament,
Right.
Claxon Shield,
Good coach. How important is the coaching?
Massive.
Yeah.
Massive.
Yeah. So they've got a good coach, basically.
They've got a guy, Tank, Chris Adamson.
Yeah.
Guys like him.
Yes.
They want to play for him.
Yeah.
And so, and they've got a lot of young talent. A lot of Sydney guys have gone down there to play down there.
Right.
They affiliate with the Phillies. And we had a couple of the Aussie guys, Australian players from Sydney that went and played for 3 months down in Adelaide.
Yeah.
Okay, but they've got a good squad and a good coach and they've got a good atmosphere and guys that have been down there say they love it.
Yeah. So as a young player, how do they get involved generally, Funky Phil?
As in as young players, are kids?
Yeah. When's the best time to start getting into it? How do they do that? How would they do that? So just local club?
Yeah, local club. There's clubs, mate. There's a lot of clubs anywhere within.
Is there how many clubs in Sydney?
There's 12, 15 clubs in the Hills area.
Wow.
So
12, 15.
But there's everywhere you go, there'll be a club within 10 kilometres. What do you put that down to?
Why is it popular there?
But there's out your way, out this way. There's clubs out here as well.
Yeah.
There's clubs everywhere in Sydney.
Yeah.
There's clubs everywhere in Sydney.
Okay.
But the Hills area
sort of catches on.
We've got a bit more. I mean, that was an area. This is just my personal opinion. It's an area that was growing 30 years ago.
Yeah.
And we were able to have the facilities to incorporate that, and it boomed. The Hills boomed. And they started putting in the parks, and so I think that's a big thing.
Yeah.
And the Hills team now are in Williamsport now. They've just gone over there to represent Australia in the Little League. So they'll be on TV soon. The under 12s.
Okay.
They're going to be stars over there.
Right. So whoever wins here can go over.
Whoever wins here, it's a knockout competition. So
they can travel.
That's it. Well, it's a $250,000 prize. So basically, Little League America pays for all the kids, accommodation, flights, uniforms, bats, food for 2 weeks.
Wow.
They pay for everything. So they if you qualify, they pay for you to go over. So I mean, you're talking about 15 players, 10 grand a head, just from flights alone, there's 150 grand. So so it's like a $250,000 prize.
Wow. So that was for Sydney only, or that was a national? That's national.
That's a national thing. So they won.
So one team from each of those maybe 6 countries you mentioned before, Japan, Mexico, is that right? Do they have a mini World Series? Do they?
So basically, they'll have, I believe it's 8 teams from around the world will go to Williamsport, and 8 teams from America will go, and then they get knocked down until they've got 2 teams left, and they fight it out. One team from each
And you've been...
I haven't been there. No,
No.
I coached a side that lost against a team that is gone there now.
Okay. Were they a pretty good team?
They're a very good side.
Yeah.
Good coaching, dedicated coaches.
Yeah.
A friend of mine, Adam Dobb, Jason Newell and Matty Bennett all coach that side. So they're going to be stars. You'll see them on TV. Adam Dobb's got triplets in it. And so his young
really?
fellas are good, and Matty Bennett's boys
Triplets.
are in it.
Wow.
So they're gonna be
Have a
stars.
team, why don't you? How many in a team?
That team there's 12.
Okay, but it generally...
On the field, 9.
Yeah.
9
9.
and 9 positional players.
Yeah.
And sometimes you'll have one guy that will bat for the pitcher. And so there'll be 10. But in Little League, it's different rules in that you will bat everyone. So there'll be 12 batters in the lineup.
Yeah.
But there's only 9 people on the field.
Yeah. Understand. You mentioned this. What are the main tournaments in Australia?
The main tournaments in Australia.
Yeah.
So in seniors, we'll have... that's the beauty of baseball in Australia, is that if you want to play, you could go play.
Yeah, any level.
Any level,
Yeah.
there'll be something for you to go play.
Yeah, right.
So our biggest...
What, even older?
Older, yeah, mate.
Yeah. Do you still play?
Yes.
Oh, right, okay.
I still play, yeah.
Yeah.
You got the ABL, which is the biggest tournament, but then juniors we'll have the national.
So ABL, are they professionals? Are they in Australia?
Some players. Some players are professional.
Who's paying their way?
Okay, so the owners of the club, in like the Sydney Blue Sox will pay the Australian players. Okay. Pay their money, but your affiliated players, so teams that are linked to a major league club, they will pay. The affiliated club will pay for those players to be here. We might house them, but the affiliated clubs will pay their wages.
Right, gotcha.
Okay, so come down. So for example, like the Brisbane Bandits, who are affiliated with the Milwaukee Brewers, they'll send them 5 players. They'll pay their wages, but the Brisbane Bandits will look after their accommodation while they're here.
Yeah.
Okay, and then pay for their flights to Perth, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay, very good. How do we go when it's Australia versus, the other countries that are playing?
Okay, so when in a tournament, so baseball in the States, the major is played every single day.
Yes.
Okay, every single day. So you'll have...
Yeah, so what do they do with injuries and all that sort of
Okay, so this is the thing. So you'll have it's called a 40-man roster. So there's 40 people on the roster that they can call into it. Okay. But in any one game, I think there's 22. There's 22 players on the team. Okay, so you'll have nine.
Any one game, they've got to nominate 22, right?
Okay, I believe so. It's 22 in the major league. So and you'll have 12 positional players. So you'll have a backup catcher or 2 backup catchers in case your catcher gets injured, and then a backup infielder and a backup outfielder, and then your 9 players.
Right.
Okay, eight other players. But then you'll have 10 pitchers on your squad because you'll have 5 starters.
Yeah.
Because they normally have a 5 game series.
Yeah.
So you'll have 5 starters.
Yeah.
And then you'll have a guy that normally just comes in at the end. He's called their closer.
Yep.
Okay, when the game's close and you want to win, he'll come in and throw the last innings.
Oh, okay.
And that's his role. And he can do that,
his role.
And he can do that multiple days in a row. But the starter's only going to pitch every 5 days.
Okay. Yeah,
okay.
Sure.
So once they pitch one day, they can't play for the next 4 days because they're allowed to, but the wear and tear on their arm is going to destroy it. So they won't pitch multiple. And then you'll have middle of relief guys that will throw. If the starter starts getting hit and he comes out after 2 innings when they're expecting him to go 6 innings, you'll have a guy that will come in and throw innings 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and get to those guys that were throwing 1 innings who can throw multiple days in a row. So that's how that works.
And how do they make that call? He just starts getting hit more than he normally does?
Well, that's right. So that's where the manager comes into it.
The which one?
The manager.
Yeah.
The manager or the coach.
Okay.
They call it the manager. He's the guy that makes all of the decisions about who's going to play where, when the pitcher comes out, how long he's going to last for. With his pitching coach and with his bench coach, they're going to be guys feeding
they're changing these decisions as they're going.
And they're looking, okay, so generally in baseball, right-handed hitters hit left-handed pitchers better than a right-handed pitcher.
Right.
Because the ball is breaking.
Gotcha.
Rather, if it's coming towards you, it's easier to hit. So it's a general rule. So if they've got a left-handed batter coming up and there's a right-handed pitcher on the mound, the coach might go, okay, we might take that right-handed pitcher out and bring a left-handed pitcher in to face that left-handed hitter.
Gotcha.
So we can get him out. So then you've
Right.
just used up one of your players.
Yeah. Okay. Where are the biggest rivalries in Australia?
In Australia.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think there's a bit of a rivalry. Well, Adelaide's a team to beat at the moment.
Yeah.
Adelaide's a team to beat, so a lot of people go head hunting for them.
Yeah.
You know, Perth were strong for a long time, and so Adelaide and Perth have got a bit of a rivalry.
Yeah.
Us and Canberra have a rivalry.
Okay.
For sure.
Why is that?
Oh, closeness.
Closeness.
Yeah, closeness. You know, down they call it the Oxspring and Cup. So they share it.
Some good fields in Canberra, I imagine.
Canberra's got some nice fields. Yeah. So there's a bit of a rivalry there. And then
Is our best one at Blacktown?
our best field is at Blacktown. Yeah.
Yeah.
It used to be Oriole Stadium, run by Jack Gaynor.
Okay.
But it's been knocked down now. But
So there's a good rivalry. There's
a bit of rivalry. Yeah, but the state league, which I'm involved in, is Walco Blacktown. Got a good rivalry there.
Yeah.
You know, MacArthur.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That you're involved with. Yeah. So how many hours on a Saturday does it go? Cricket goes all day.
Cricket goes all day. Okay, so a game of baseball lasts about 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Generally.
Yeah. Okay.
2 hours, 2.5 hours.
Yeah. No, that's good. What's our best stadium, you reckon? In Australia?
In Australia, look, I really like the field up at Bandits. It's quite small.
Where's that?
That is called, the name is escaping, but it's up in Brisbane.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Doubleday field there. So that ground there, it's quite small. So it's only about 320 to the outfield wall. So 320 feet,
Okay.
so about 95 metres. So it's not that big of a hit. So there are a few home runs in there.
Yeah, okay.
But that's that.
How big are they and how big's the big major league one?
So you're talking about 105 metres. So like 340, 350 down the lines. 380, 390 to centre, 420 sometimes to centre field, 440 sometimes.
Really?
Yeah, and there's no dimension that is correct. You can have anything.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, there's no.
Is that right?
Yeah. So
what's a small? So you can go as small as you like.
Yeah, well, like Fenway Park, Boston, they've got it's 310 down the right field line. You know,
Right.
You know,
right.
and then it's called the Green
That'd
Monster.
make for an interesting, different sort of stadium.
That's right. So and they're called the Green Monster. It's famous. You know, it's a wall that's 40 feet high, and you can sit on top of it now.
Okay.
So because it's so short, there it's only like 320. So they built a massive wall.
Right. Wow, that's cool. And you've been to some games in the States, obviously.
Yeah, I've been to about 9 stadiums in the States. Yeah.
You get the hot dog and
You get the hot dog. Yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. So
Yeah.
so I've been to Been to Boston, been to Yankee Stadium, been to Comiskey, which is White Sox. Arizona was Bank One back then. St. Louis. So yeah, been to quite a few Camden Yards.
So Funky Phil's role, you're getting some numbers. You're getting awareness and numbers and things like that. Is that right? Or when's your big day?
And my big day. So look, I came into this about 7 years ago just because I'm passionate about the sport.
Yeah.
And Matt Cavill, who was helping out the Blue Sox, got me involved. He thought I'd be a bit of fun for the kids.
Yeah.
And so I came up with Funky Phil, and that's just grown. And so baseballers in Sydney will know me. I'm a minor celebrity amongst the baseball community now.
Yes,
People know who I am. So with that, I try and help the game. And even in the States, I was 500 miles from Savannah, just at a ballpark watching Liam McCallum play, another Aussie pitcher doing well over there. So he's playing in college. He was playing in Woodback League over there. So I went to watch him play, and a kid came up to me and says, "You're Funky Phil."
Right.
And so he asked me to sign his ball. And a couple of kids signed his ball. So that was pretty cool.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
That was
and he was American? Or?
They were American.
Wow.
They just recognise they recognise you through the Savannah Bananas.
Wow.
And so yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
It was cool. It was it was a lot of fun.
What do you reckon in our history with baseball? What's our golden moment or two?
Silver medal in the Olympics.
Yeah. 2004.
2004, yeah, 2004, yeah. So I think that was our highlight.
That was our highlight. Yeah, that's pretty amazing.
And we should have won that. They caught the Cubans caught a ball, claimed a ball that hit the fence, and then went into his glove and he claimed the catch, and it shouldn't have been a catch, and we would have scored the winning run.
Yeah, right.
And so
we beat America in that. In that tournament.
I think we beat America in that tournament, yes. But then back then they weren't sending their full teams either, because their major league players weren't playing.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't America.
It wasn't a full team, but still, Japan had a good side there, and and we beat Japan, and they had a strong side.
So it's big. It's obviously big in Japan.
It's national sport.
Yeah.
It's a national sport in Japan, national sport in Korea, national sport in America.
National sport.
It was an American influence again, I think.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's a game that if you play it, you have fun. I've had a lot of friends that never played, and they've had a game with me, and they love it. They want to play it. It's because you get to do everything. You can, you get to hit in the same game. You can pitch if you want to pitch. You can field, and it's a fun game.
Yeah. So live versus watching it on streamed. What do you just love live, I guess?
No. Live is ideal. Like any sport.
Yeah.
Any sport is better live.
Yeah.
Any sport is better live, I think. So it's a lot of fun. Live on TV, because there's so many rules of baseball, for the person that's not understanding it becomes...
Yeah, there are a lot of rules.
A lot of rules.
Yeah.
A lot of rules.
Yeah.
I know most of them.
Is that right?
But not really? All of them. Even me, I get caught out occasionally. But I'm pretty much ahead of it all.
Tell me some obscure rule that you just, it's just part of the history of the game.
Okay. For baseball, it's not obscure, but there's a rule called the infield fly, for example.
Yeah.
So if there's runners on first and second, because you can't leave a base until the ball hits the ground. So if you leave the base when the ball's in the air and they catch it, they can throw it back to the base that you were on, and you're out. Okay, because
hang on. Go again.
Okay, so
they hit it. The hitter hits it.
Yeah, the batter hits the ball.
Yeah. And
there's runners on base.
Yeah.
So there's a runner on second base.
Yeah.
And he comes off the base thinking that it's not going to get caught.
Right.
Okay, he thinks it's not going to get caught, or he just makes a mistake and comes off the base. If you catch it, and you throw it back to that base that he was on, before he gets back there, he's now out.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got to tag up. It's called you can't leave until the ball's caught. So what they're doing, there's a rule called the infield fly rule, where what would happen, because there's a runner, say, on first and second and, say, even third, the ball's hit in the air, the runners can't run anywhere. They can't run, so they stay on the base. The fielder intentionally drops the ball.
Okay.
And then the runners have got to run, so then they throw it to third, throw it to second, throw it to first, get a triple play, and you get 3 outs in the one play.
Wow.
So now there's a rule called the infield fly, where if it's in an area where an infielder can catch it, the batter's automatically out, and so they can't intentionally drop the ball.
Right.
So that's
one of them.
That's a
bang, bang, bang. That wouldn't happen too often. Get the 3 of them out.
A triple play now, they're rare. They're pretty rare.
Pretty cool though. Have you seen one?
Oh, plenty. Been involved in a few, but I've been playing for 40 years, 50 years.
Okay.
So 45 years.
So that's obscure. Yeah. Any others?
If a catcher uses anything but his glove to pick the ball up, say sometimes you'll see a catcher grab his mask and drag the ball back towards him with his mask. The runners get 2 bases, because you can't use your mask or any other part of your body. If you use your hat, so someone's being funny.
So they
the
just
ball with
advance 2 bases.
The runners get 2 bases. Yeah.
Yeah. And so they'll move around. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're on first, he'll go automatically to third, or if he's on second, he'll score.
If he's on second, he'll score.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Where do people get out most?
The most common out would probably be a strikeout.
A strikeout.
So when you get 3 strikes and you miss the ball,
the
ball goes through the zone, it's a strike, and you get out, it'd be a strikeout.
Yeah, that'd be it. Yeah, understand. Are we getting a bit of a fan culture here?
Oh, 100%. The Blue Sox have got some nutters. Nutter fans, they're great. The cowboys going and cowbells. They'll shake the cowbells and they'll chant, and we've got a following, and they turn up every week. And
what goes on? Game. Tell me a bit. What's part
for the Blue Sox?
Yeah,
for the Blue Sox. So that's where I come into it.
Yeah.
So I'll get some dancing going, and in between innings, I'll get the crowd singing or dancing.
You got songs that everyone knows, or
7th inning stretch. It's Sweet Caroline.
Okay.
Take me out the ball game.
Okay. Yeah.
So there's songs like that we'll sing, but we might have a singing competition out there or a dancing competition, or we might try and catch the water balloon games in between innings when there's nothing going on.
Okay. That's all part of the
part of the show, So that's my role is for the people that want to get involved and the kids and all the parents that are just watching the game but they want to do something other things. I keep them involved, so the other people are watching the game. They can enjoy the game, and so I'll take the kids down the sidelines or get them on the field and do this dizzy bat race or trying to play some sort of games out there.
I understand. What role do expatriates play in Australian baseball?
At the college level, okay, if you're still in college, you can't come and play in the ABL, okay, because it's classed as professional ball.
Okay.
Okay. It's classed as professional ball, and so you're not allowed. Otherwise, you'll be disqualified from playing college. So they've got to wait till they finish their college season before they can play in the ABL.
Okay.
But if you're finished playing in the States, and most baseballers, they still have a passion for it, and they'll come out and they'll help their local clubs and their local ABL team, and play there and try and boost that game, because the better.
How much do they boost the game?
It'd be a lot different without them.
Yeah.
It'd be a lot different without them. A lot different. We need those guys coming back and playing.
And how does a standout shape the way you'll play? How will you utilise that talent?
So there's a saying that my uncle said, you can't soar like an eagle when you're running with turkeys. Okay. So if you're around better players, they're going to push those other players to get better and do well.
So they're bringing the others up.
They're bringing their others up because their worth ethic, their ability, and just what they've learned from the higher levels of baseball, that they're going to pass it on to the young players. And it's invaluable. It's invaluable. You've got it, those better quality. Even if they don't have the skills anymore, their knowledge will keep them at that level.
Yeah.
Like Tim Kennelly, who's played affiliate baseball, but he's back playing for Perth. I think he might be 40 now, and he's still a quality ball player.
Yeah, right.
Because his knowledge of the game allows him to stay and play at that level.
So on that, what's the major league career? They peter out early 30s, or what? What do you reckon?
They say that major league players, their peak is between 25 and 35.
25, 35.
Okay, so
that's good. That's good.
That's
because rugby, football would be out. Right. You'd be out at 30, really.
That's right. So you can still play. You're still very, very good at 35.
Yeah, right.
That's your peak form normally between those age groups.
35. That's peak form.
But it's the game's changing. That we're now getting super talented guys at the age of 21 in the major leagues.
Okay. They're just cottoning on earlier, training earlier, that sort of thing.
They're just cottoning on, and they're getting noticed more, and they're biggest, faster, stronger, like any sport,
Getting noticed more.
Yeah. Or just the nutrition.
Well, I suppose with the games being on streamed, Funky, they anyone can see a game from anywhere.
Yeah, I've had people talk to me about how they're talking to people about getting sponsorship for their clubs. And people haven't heard anything. Oh, yes, I heard about that Travis Bazzana guy. He was on the news the other day. So we haven't been involved in baseball. Yeah, we'll donate some money.
Ah, yeah, sure. Gotcha.
So that awareness, and like I said, money's not everything, but things it helps.
Money's not everything, but it helps.
It helps, and awareness creates that chance to do more things.
So in the States, they get ticket sales. What are their revenue streams in America? Obviously, ticket sales, so TV rights, sponsorships.
TV rights are massive. So, for example, that Shohei Ohtani, he signed for $700 million for 10 years. $700 million. Now he's a Japanese star. The reason, and that's for the Dodgers.
$700 million. How old is he? In his peak, obviously.
He might be 25, 26.
Really? Oh, for 10 years, was it?
He's for 10 years, 25, 26.
Wow.
But the thing is, he's a Japanese star, so
But
Japan...
he could have signed for more if he held out. I'm just joking.
That's right, yeah. I think the next best was something like 350 million. So he's...
350 million.
But Japan want to advertise at all their sports. Now, they've got 81 games at home, 162 games. 81 of those games are going to be at the Dodger Stadium. So they Japanese corporations will pay for all those that advertising on their billboards around the stadium. And their TV rights. They want to get advertisements on their TV rights. Yeah. So that's why they can pay in that money.
Wow.
Because you can do that. So so the TV rights, but the ticket sales and the food and drink and all the rest of it, that's a smaller part for some of them. But smaller affiliate teams, Milwaukee Brewers are a small team. Cincinnati Reds are a small team. But, Dodgers, Yankees, San Francisco, they're all big market teams.
Big market
teams. Boston, big market
teams. Why is Milwaukee smaller?
They're just a smaller area.
Just a smaller area.
And they don't...
How do they compete? Can they compete? Does the league spread resources around?
They don't have a salary cap per se. So you can, if the Yankees want to spend... Like the Yankees, I don't know the numbers. 2 years ago I'd be able to tell you the numbers, but the payroll for the Dodgers this year, for example, might be...
But wouldn't that make it lopsided?
It is a little bit lopsided, but with trades, and that sort of thing. So the better teams normally stay good for a lot longer. And then,
do they?
But when that one team has a chance to win, they'll trade their better junior players. Like, for example, the Cleveland Guardians are struggling this year, are doing really well. They're doing really, really well, and they want to get better players. So they'll give up their Travis Bazzana for a major league ready player to help them win this year.
Okay, yeah.
So they'll trade their future away to get someone right now to try and win the division right now.
Yeah. Okay.
So they'll do those sort of things, and that happens. That the movie Moneyball about the Oakland Athletics, and Brad Pitt was in.
Yes.
Okay, so they are a small market team. The Oakland Athletics are a small market team, and so they try to do different things, to try and get it. So they might see their salary for a year was $500,000, or the Dodgers were for $43 million. The payroll.
Mm-hmm. Do you think the future of Australian baseball, how bright could it get, hypothetically?
Very bright. Very bright.
What's the best case scenario?
Best case scenario?
Yeah, best, just, throw it out there.
Have a ABL that is telecast and is the winter league for the Americans.
Wow.
So at the moment, the Venezuelan league, that's when their better players will go down to Venezuela to play down there. So they might start coming to Australia to have that, to do that. So if we can get it where it's actually making money, like, a T20 top money, we can get better players to come down and support it, and we get bigger numbers. And that, I don't think we'll ever be where we're continually competing against and beating the United States because their numbers are just too big. Yeah. But will we be able to beat them in one-off games? 100%.
Yeah.
We're going to be able to compete against them in the one-off games. Right. But it's,
have a good day, sort of thing.
Yeah, have a good day. But, because we can put our best pitcher against their best pitcher and our best fielders against their best fielders, on a day we can beat them. But over 162 games like the major leagues have played it, that'll be a tough ask for just Australian players.
Yeah.
But having a quality ABL, yes, to a standard where the ABL players, that's their job. They don't have to have these other jobs in the off season.
Yeah.
That can be their job. Yeah, that'd be cool.
How far away do you reckon what would need to happen for that to occur?
Well, like I said,
dollars helps.
Okay,
right?
So dollars helps, and like I said, the Sydney Kings. I can remember the Sydney Kings were like the Sydney Blue Sox.
Yeah,
and the guys were getting paid peanuts or not at all.
Yeah. Yes.
But with the sponsorship that comes into it and the awareness that the signings that we're having are going ahead, then we can get those guys where they're getting paid to supplement and pay for their living.
Yeah.
And then they can go play independent ball over in the States in our winter. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. So obviously seasonal, it's good, right? The seasons work out, right?
The seasons work out for the northern hemispheres and the southern hemispheres for sure. So I think maybe 10 years. 10, 15 years, I think that we will be at a stage where the guys are getting paid more than just, a couple of $1,000s that they get paid to play now.
Yeah, per game.
Look, different people get different money, and there's, but it's going up.
Do the Americans have any idea that we play?
They do now. Travis is more famous in America than he is here.
Right.
You know, they know.
They do now.
Yeah. They know. They know now.
Yeah. Right. It's quite popular with women too, right?
Yeah.
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 The women's, they did pretty well from what I could see. Their leagues, where are they at? Do they run in tandem with the...
Okay, so the Australian women's team are quite well. That's coached by Jason Pospisil.
Yep.
He was coached with the Blue Sox last year. He's our national coach there. And, I think, don't quote me on it, but I think they might be ranked like third.
Yeah.
Third or second. They're constantly beating Americans.
Right.
And other teams. Japan's, I think, the number one in the world.
Do you see a few other bright lights starting to...
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got, just off the top of my head, Solomon Maguire is in the Pittsburgh organisation. Jimmy Nadai is with Stanford University. He'll be going to his third year, so he'll get offered next year, high up there. Blake Cavell, another guy is doing really well at the Cape Cod, which is like the premium wood bat league. So he's doing
wood
well.
Bat league. They only play with wood bats.
So So basically, at college you play with a tin bat.
Yeah.
The majors.
Aluminium, do you mean? Or?
Yeah, aluminium. Yeah. Okay. So
they call them tin.
Tin bat. Yeah. So, but that's in college. Major leagues play with a wooden bat. And so the Cape Cod is...
Major League play with a wooden bat. That's how it is?
They play with wooden bats. Yeah. And so the Cape Cod is like the premium, where all the premium college players go to play in a competition with wood bats. And it's the best players from all around the world, all around the country, go to the Cape Cod and they'll compete. Okay, and they hire... The scouts hold that in high regard because they say, oh, yeah, it's different hitting with a wood bat and hitting with an aluminium bat. It's a big difference. A bigger sweet spot on the bat. So with a wood bat, there's a smaller area.
Yeah, right.
That you can hit and hit the ball flush.
Small bit of hickory in there.
Yeah, where the aluminium bats, it's a larger area that if you mishit it slightly, the ball can still travel a long way. Okay. With a wooden bat, if you don't hit it flush, then the ball's not going to travel.
Yeah.
So they want to see how they go in the wood bat league.
Is it true that like there's a flat part of the bat and there's a flat part of the ball that you want to be connecting? Is that right?
No. There's no flat part of the ball or bat. Both around. But
when they say hit it square, that doesn't mean that.
Hit it squares. Yeah, just You want to get it with a little bit of backspin on perfect elevations around about 22 degrees off the bat.
Yeah.
They've worked that out, and a little bit of backspin, so you're getting that ball to travel, fly,
So it'll go up.
Yeah, that's right, but not too much. Too high, the ball will get caught. But yeah, that 22 degrees, I think, is the right angle that you want to hit the ball off the bat.
Not
but
easy.
The ball's coming down too at the angle too. So.
Yeah. Wow, interesting. What's the future of baseball in Australia? Looks bright. Talk to me, Funky Phil.
Okay, so future, like I said, so. We've got to have a good ABL.
Yep.
Okay, a good ABL where kids are knowing it and they know the players.
Yeah.
Okay, we need to get that happening.
Yeah.
Okay, then it's grassroots. So the try baseball days where you get down and getting the kids out there playing the game, and they've got to have someone to look up to.
Yeah.
And
that's really important, isn't it?
Yeah, and I'm involved in juniors and I'm involved in the ABL through Funky Phil because that's my gig.
Yeah.
But you can't. They're both important, but we've got to have a good ABL. The ABL is super important.
Yeah,
you've got to have someone for the kids to look up to, and then want to be like them.
Stating the obvious, but if there was more money, there'd be more people playing on, right?
Well, look, it's just.
Do you lose a fair few at a certain stage?
Like all sports, you lose a lot of people as they get older and they stop playing.
Yeah.
But the money just allows. For the better grounds, like if you play football, for example, it costs you $100 to play league, $50 sometimes because the clubs are supporting the juniors and they'll give them a jersey and they'll give them this and their sponsorship. The sponsors will pay for the kids' training shirts and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So kids say, how cool is this? We get to go get it. We get a training shirt and baseball.
Yes.
Without the sponsors, the parents are paying. For their training uniforms. They're paying for that training top. They're paying for their gloves, their bats, their shoes.
Right.
So it becomes an expensive sport. You know, so
Right.
now the fees are $300 or $400.
Yeah.
You know, so it can get quite expensive.
Yeah. Have 3 kids, have triplets, and you're looking at 1,000.
That's right. You know, and that's right. So it makes a difference.
Yeah, yeah. Awesome. What's a couple of pieces of advice, Funky, for someone who wants to get into the game?
Best advice is go down and have a go. You'll enjoy it. It is. I mean, I love my cricket. Okay, I love my league. I love my Parramatta Eels.
Yeah.
And I do it all. But like I said, baseball is a fun sport, and you get to do it all. You know, so and you can play to a long age.
You get to do it all. Yeah. Is there a spot for all different types of talent?
100% there is.
Yeah.
In Australia, you can play if you want to play baseball. You can play.
Yeah.
In America, you can't do that. They'll go play slow pitch softball, but in Australia, you can play baseball at any age, at any ability. You'll find a team.
When you say you can't do that in the States, what do you mean?
Because
if you don't make the grade, they're not interested.
Yeah, that's right. So
yeah.
there's only baseball played at a certain level over there. They don't have like we've got A grade, B grade, C grade, D grade, E grade, F grade. Over there, you got the independent ball, and then you've got like senior league games and wood bat leagues. But you've got to be at a certain level. You can't. Otherwise, you're going to play what they call slow pitch softball.
Yeah. Okay.
So they throw the ball up in the air and you hit it. It's like baseball, but it's not. It's different.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, so they're just lobbing the ball in where baseball, the pitcher's still trying to get you out. They're trying to throw the ball past you. Where in the slow pitch softball, it's like hit the ball, and we'll try and get you out after you hit it.
Yeah. Understand. Junior clubs, there's clubs near everyone. They would just go to a club.
Baseball New South Wales, if you're in New South Wales, look up your local and they'll have a link to a club near you. You can just type in the closest club near me.
Yeah.
And they'll take you to a club there.
Way you go. So what's coming up, Funky?
Oh, okay, so ABL starting up in November.
Yeah.
Okay, so 15th is the first games for the new ABL season. We've got junior baseball starting up in about 4 or 5 weeks. So if the kids are out there and they want to play, they can get down to local club. It's not too late to go join a club. And there's lots of clubs everywhere. Like I said, you can find a club to go play in and they'll be welcomed. Even if you haven't played since 13 and 14, you can still come down and get a game and there'll be a Division 2 team or whatever to go try that out. Senior League Summer Ball is going to start up very, very soon. The Savannah Bananas players are coming out for a tournament that Osborne are holding, the Summer Sizzler in December. So December 26, 27, 28. 29.
Summer Sizzler.
The Summer Sizzler. So it's
Have
just
they got a bit of a caravan of supporters? Do they bring a few?
Oh,
If they've got 2 million online, how many
okay,
come
so
out?
they've got 4 players coming out. So some of the bigger names. So you've got Kyle, one of the cowboy guy. You've got Dalton is coming out. Coach Rack is coming out, and Biko, their announcer, is coming out. So the voice of the Bananas is coming out. So Coach Rack is, he's got like 10 million people on TikTok or something like that follows him. So all the kids know who Coach Rack is.
Okay.
He's well publicised. Kyle is, he was one of the original Bananas. And
they've got a Funky Phil equivalent. Some of these clubs.
They've got multiple Funky Phil equivalents. So on the one man show here.
Okay.
But they've got lots of guys. They've got the banana nenas. So the ladies from 6 years and up, they're the banana nenas, and they'll
60?
dance. 60 years old and up.
6 years.
60.
60, right.
60. So the banana nenas.
Right. Sorry,
Okay,
I thought that's what you said.
Yeah, and then you got the men equivalent, and then you got little kids that do it. So and then you got just guys they've got their own little quirks, and they'll hang out with the fans and keep them entertained.
Very good. You think it'll come into the Olympics in LA? It's obvious.
Well, LA is obvious, and they're already preparing for Brisbane, so they're building fields.
So the future's looking really good.
It's going to be good. Yeah, it's going to be in 32 in Brisbane for sure.
And something to shoot for
kids, yeah.
For kids. Do you reckon an Olympic medal means much to the guys in the majors, or not really?
Yes,
does,
mate. Well, you look at the golf. The guys that won the medal in the golf. They've won millions and millions of dollars, but everyone wants to represent their country.
Yeah. Well, with the basketball recently in Paris, they
100%. Mate, you represent. Yeah, mate. It's for me. I haven't.
It's also a true thing. It's a true achievement. That's not really a associated with money either. Do you know what I mean?
That's right. No, it's for your love, and like, you want to. Anyone that plays it at an elite level has got that burning desire to win.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They've got it. You can't get there without it, and so.
Muhammad Ali even got an Olympic medal, didn't he?
Yeah, as a junior.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but and look, 100%. Like, I'd love to represent my country and win a medal. And I think all the Aussie boys will be the same. Yeah, it's a highlight for sure, 100%.
Very good, very good.
Baseball.
Anything else to talk about?
You've done a really good job talking about the sport, getting it out there. So, like, baseball season's starting up. Come down to a game. Come down to Blue Sox game.
So where is that live game? Where can they go?
Out at Rudy Hill.
Yeah.
It's at Rudy Hill. It's called the Blacktown International Sports Park.
Yeah.
Blue Sox Stadium.
Blue Sox Stadium.
And so we will have 5 rounds at home of 4 games. There'll be 20 games being played at Blue Sox Stadium. Okay, and you can look up Blue Sox, easy to remember. Blue Sox SOX.
Good vibe, good culture.
I like keep the vibes going. Yeah. So they'll have a good time. If they come out to the game, I'll give them back their money.
Do we get some hot dogs and stuff happening?
We've got good food. We've got hot dogs. We've got good food, good merch. The owners at the Blue Sox are fantastic. Cheap prices. You can get, for kids, you can get 5 games for $5.
Yeah, right.
5 games for $5 for a kid.
Yeah.
So it's worth it. It's good.
What is it for an adult?
$20
or something.
You can get tickets for $5 a game
for an adult.
For an adult.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And if you get packages, it's a lot more. And our merch isn't expensive. Our food is not expensive. We're not charging $10 for a pie.
Yeah.
The hot dogs are $6. The drinks are $4, and we got.
It's more about
alcoholic slushies. Yeah, it's about getting the name out there, and the merchandise is cheap too. They're not making a lot of money. The Blue Sox owners, Darren Macbeth, he wants to bring back and get bums on the seats, and he's about just covering his
more
costs.
people the better.
Get people in there. He's a baseball fan.
Yeah.
So he's not out there to make $1 million on you. He wants people to come out and support the game.
What about you? What do you think the one thing that you took away? What's baseball given Funky Phil? What do you think it's given you as a sport?
What's it given me?
Yeah, and in terms of
baseball is an exceptionally good team sport. One play is not going to make you win a game. You can get the best halfback to win a game. You can have a Lionel Messi and you can win games. You can have an opening batsman score 400 runs for you. And they can win the game. The pitcher, to a certain extent, can be that one person for you. But
can they?
But they can't, because they can't score any runs. The pitchers can't score any runs.
Oh, the pitcher.
Because they're not batting.
The pitcher. If the pitcher's, we'll come back to you. Sorry, before. If the pitcher's that good, he can just get people out. Is that what you're saying?
He can get people out, but he can't score any runs.
Right.
Okay. So you need your team to win.
Yeah,
so it's team,
it's team.
So it's that there, and it's such a sport of failure. It's such a sport of failure.
Yeah. So there's on that. I'm sorry to interject. There's a book called The Science of Hitting, right? Mm-hmm. And it's like the greatest guys in the league will fail. It's only 3 in 10.
That's right.
Yeah. That's fascinating. So, sorry, you go on.
That's right.
What do you mean by that?
It's a game of failure. That's what I mean.
Yes.
So you fail more times than you succeed in baseball, and and it's the mental game. The mental game of being able to overcome that failure. Because the thing is, if the best hitters are hitting the ball 3 out of 10 times and getting safe, they're going to have runs where they don't get a hit for 20 times at bat, and they're going to get out 20 times in a row.
Wow.
And so it takes
a slump, they call it.
A slump, but it's not even a slump, because you could be hitting the ball out of the screws and hitting the ball well and not getting hit, but you start thinking, man, you start pressuring your eyes in yourself to get a hit. So that mental game is, and that's life too. You've got to learn how to deal with the ups and downs. Yeah. So that there is a big thing.
That's a big part of it. Yeah. 100%. Do you reckon that helps you?
100%. In my business, 100% it does.
Yeah.
100% it does. Yeah.
You just know that you might be just not hitting at the moment.
Process over results, mate.
Yeah.
You got to work on the process to get there.
Process. Oh, yeah. You mean just being relaxed?
Well, the process. You work hard. You know, if you work hard and you're doing all the right things, eventually you're going to start getting the results. If you're worried about the results, then, you know, your process is going to go out the window and you're not going to get the results because you're too worried about them. You just worry about the things you can control, you know, and know that, you know, if you keep working on those things, you're going to get better.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. Funky Phil from the Blue Sox. Now, if you enjoyed today's episode, subscribe now for future episodes. Funky Phil.
Glad you, mate. Cheers.
Thanks for coming on. It's been another world. I'm Chris Thomas, and thanks for watching.